Murphy was born on April 3, 1961, in Brooklyn, New York. By the late 1980s, he was already a global superstar, having risen to fame through Saturday Night Live and smash-hit films like Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, and Coming to America. In 1989, Murphy took on one of his biggest projects yet, writing, directing, and starring in Harlem Nights. This ambitious crime comedy brought together some of the greatest black comedians of all time, including Richard Pryor and Red Fox. Murphy played Quick Brown, a slick and intelligent club owner navigating the dangerous world of 1930s Harlem. His sharp comedic timing and action-packed performance made Harlem Nights a cult classic, even though critics were divided at the time. Following the film, Murphy continued dominating Hollywood with hits like The Nutty Professor, Dr. Dolittle, Shrek, and Dreamgirls. Now at 63 years old, Eddie Murphy is still going strong. Over the past decade, he made a massive comeback with films like Dolomite Is My Name and Coming to America. In 2023, he starred in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F., bringing back one of his most beloved characters. Murphy continues to work in both comedy and drama, proving that his talent is timeless. His impact on the entertainment industry is legendary, and he remains one of the most influential black comedians and actors in history. Red Fox, born John Elroy Sanford on December 9, 1922, was a pioneer of stand-up comedy and best known for his role as Fred Sanford in Sanford & Son. By the time Harlem Nights was filmed, Fox was already a legendary comedian, famous for his sharp wit, hilarious delivery, and no-holds-barred humor. In the film, he played Benny Wilson, a cranky but lovable gambler who provided some of the movie's funniest moments. His scenes with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor were comedy gold, blending old-school and new-school humor seamlessly. Despite his reputation as a comedian, Fox was also a talented actor, bringing depth and authenticity to every role he played. Sadly, Red Fox passed away on October 11, 1991, at the age of 68, after suffering a heart attack on the set of The Royal Family. His sudden passing was a devastating loss to the comedy world. However, Fox's legacy continues to live on. Sanford & Son remains one of the most iconic sitcoms in TV history, and his influence on stand-up comedy can still be felt today. Comedians like Chris Rock, Bernie Mac, and Cedric the Entertainer have all credited Red Fox as a major influence on their careers. Arsenio Hall was born on February 12, 1956, in Cleveland, Ohio. By the late 1980s, he was already making a name for himself in the comedy and talk show scene. His role in Harlem Nights may have been small, but it was unforgettable. He played the Crying Man, a gangster who breaks down in tears after witnessing his boss get shot. His hilarious, over-the-top reaction became one of the most quoted scenes in the movie. At the same time, Hall was becoming one of the biggest names in late-night TV. In 1989, he launched the Arsenio Hall Show, which became a cultural phenomenon, attracting guests like Eddie Murphy, Tupac Shakur, and even President Bill Clinton. Now 69 years old, Arsenio Hall continues to be active in entertainment, though at a more relaxed pace. He made a comeback in 2013 with a revival of the Arsenio Hall Show, though it only lasted one season. In 2021, he reunited with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, reprising his roles as Semmy, Morris, and Reverend Brown. Hall has also remained a stand-up comedy legend, occasionally performing and making guest appearances on talk shows. While he may not be as dominant in the late-night scene as he once was, he remains a pioneer who helped open doors for black entertainers in television. Danny Aiello was born on June 20, 1933, in New York City. By the time Harlem Nights was released in 1989, he was already a seasoned character actor, famous for playing tough guys, mobsters, and police officers. In Harlem Nights, Aiello played Phil Contoni, a corrupt and racist police captain working against Sugar Ray and Quick Brown. His menacing presence and intense performance made him one of the most hated villains in the movie. Aiello's biggest career moment came just 1 month after Harlem Nights was released. His role as Sal, the pizzeria owner in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Now, Danny Aiello's legacy in 2025. Danny Aiello continued acting well into his later years, appearing in films like Lucky No. 11 and Brooklyn Lobster. Unfortunately, he passed away on December 12, 2019, at the age of 86, due to an infection. Even though he is no longer with us, Aiello's impact on Hollywood remains strong. His performances in Do the Right Thing, Moonstruck, and Harlem Nights are still studied and celebrated today. Aiello is remembered as one of the great Italian-American character actors, known for bringing depth and realism to his roles, even when playing villains. Charlie Murphy was born on July 12, 1959, in Brooklyn, New York. While he was widely recognized as Eddie Murphy's older brother, Charlie made a name for himself in comedy and acting. In Harlem Nights, Murphy played Jimmy, one of the gangsters working for Bugsy Calhoun. Though his role was smaller, he brought intensity and comedic energy to every scene. At the time, Murphy was also working behind the scenes, co-writing and contributing ideas to his brother Eddie's projects. Though Charlie Murphy remained in the background for much of the 1980s and 1990s, he found massive success in the 2000s through his appearances on Chappelle's Show. His True Hollywood Stories, about encounters with Rick James and Prince, became legendary comedy sketches. Murphy continued acting in films and TV shows like Black Jesus and Power, proving himself to be a talented comedian in his own right. Sadly, he passed away on April 12, 2017, at the age of 57 due to leukemia. His death was a huge loss to the comedy world, but his legacy remains alive in his stand-up, television appearances, and of course, his role in Harlem Nights. Even in 2025, Charlie Murphy is still remembered as a comedic genius, whose impact is felt across generations. Stan Shaw was born on July 14, 1952, in Chicago, Illinois. By the time he appeared in Harlem Nights, he was already an experienced actor known for roles in Rocky and The Boys in Company C. In Harlem Nights, Shaw played Jack Jenkins, a respected boxer who becomes entangled in Sugar Ray's and Quick's high-stakes plans. His character was both tough and loyal, adding another layer of excitement to the movie. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Shaw continued working in major films, appearing in Rising Sun alongside Sean Connery and Daylight with Sylvester Stallone. Now 72 years old, Shaw is still acting, proving that his talent has stood the test of time. Over the years, he has remained active in Hollywood, appearing in television series, movies, and independent films. In recent years, he has taken on mentor roles, helping young actors navigate the industry. Fans still recognize him for his classic performances, including his memorable role in Harlem Nights. Even after all these years, Stan Shaw remains a respected veteran actor with an enduring Hollywood presence. Richard Pryor was born on December 1, 1940, in Peoria, Illinois. By the time Harlem Nights was released in 1989, he was already a comedy icon, known for his groundbreaking stand-up, hit films, and incredible ability to blend humor with deep social commentary. In Harlem Nights, Pryor played Sugar Ray, the wise and charismatic club owner who serves as a father figure to Eddie Murphy's character. His chemistry with Murphy was undeniable, and despite his declining health at the time, he delivered a memorable performance filled with charm and wit. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Pryor starred in classics like Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, and Brewster's Millions. He was also a trailblazer for black comedians, breaking racial barriers in Hollywood and influencing generations of performers. Sadly, Richard Pryor was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the late 1980s, and his health declined over the years. He passed away on December 10, 2005, at the age of 65. Even in 2025, Pryor's influence is stronger than ever. His comedy albums, films, and stand-up specials continue to be studied and celebrated. Modern comedians like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and Chris Rock all credit Pryor as one of their biggest inspirations. In recent years, there has been talk of a Richard Pryor biopic, with actors like Mike Epps and Marlon Wayans rumored to portray him. His trailblazing impact on comedy and cinema remains unmatched, making him a true legend who will never be forgotten. And Jasmine Guy was born on March 10, 1962, in Boston, Massachusetts, and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Before starring in Harlem Nights, she was already a well-known actress and dancer, thanks to her breakout role as Whitley Gilbert in the hit sitcom A Different World. In Harlem Nights, Guy played Dominique LaRue, a seductive yet deadly hitwoman hired to eliminate Eddie Murphy's character, Quick Brown. Despite being surrounded by comedy legends, Guy held her own with her captivating screen presence, sultry demeanor, and fierce attitude. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, Guy was at the peak of her career. She won 6 NAACP Image Awards for A Different World and showcased her talents in singing, dancing, and stage acting. Now, Jasmine Guy in 2025. Now at 63 years old, Jasmine Guy is still active in entertainment. She has appeared in several TV shows, films, and stage productions, including The Vampire Diaries, Grey's Anatomy, and Harlem. She has also become an advocate for mental health awareness, particularly within the Black community. Though she may not be in the Hollywood spotlight as much as in her A Different World days, Guy remains a beloved and respected actress whose influence is still felt in pop culture. Fans still remember her for her sophisticated charm and undeniable talent, making her role in Harlem Nights one of her most memorable film appearances. Lela Rochon was born on April 17, 1964, in Los Angeles, California. By the late 1980s, she was still an up-and-coming actress, landing small roles in TV shows and music videos. Her breakout role came in Harlem Nights as Sunshine, a gorgeous and seductive woman whose beauty was so captivating that she could make a man leave his family with just one night together. This role, though relatively small, became one of the most memorable parts of the movie, and Sunshine's impact even turned into a pop culture reference. After Harlem Nights, Rochon continued to rise in Hollywood, starring in hit films like Boomerang alongside Eddie Murphy and her most famous role as Robin Stokes in Waiting to Exhale. Now, Lela Rochon in 2025. Now 60 years old, Lela Rochon has maintained a low profile in Hollywood but still occasionally takes on roles in TV and film. She appeared in Greenleaf, David Makes Man, and other smaller projects. She has also focused on her personal life, being married to acclaimed film director Antoine Fuqua since 1999. While she is not as active in acting as she was in the 1990s, Rochon is still admired for her stunning beauty, charm, and unforgettable role in Harlem Nights.